Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to like, subscribe, follow wherever you listen to us so you don't miss any episodes or bonus stuff that we do. I'm Sandra.
I'm Karlee, and it's another character deep dive. I don't think we call them those. Do we call them that? We might call them those. I don't know.
We might
We're looking
in the
at
description. Yeah, I'm not sure.
We're looking at another character from Supernatural in depth. So this week we thought we'd look at Lucifer. We've done some of the good guys, most of the good guys actually, I think now. Let's have a look at some bad guys. I figured we would focus on Mark Pellegrino's, I can't words.
Characterization?
Portrayal.
Yeah.
Characterization. Portrayal of Lucifer, because he was, he was the OG. He was the original Lucifer. So everyone else has just been, just trying to imitate him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I normally have somewhere I'm going to go with this, and I don't this time. I'm quite a fan of portrayal of Lucifer. I think he hits a good note between, he's not cartoonishly devilish like you see a lot of portrayals are. Mm-hmm. Even Tom Ellis in Lucifer, it's a little bit, it's funny because it's Tom Ellis and he can make anything funny. But it's a little bit, just like a little bit comic booky, a little bit over the top. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think the Lucifer in Supernatural is, I don't know, it's a little bit more real to that, evil wears a normal face kind of thing. Like the way he portrays himself, it's almost likable. If you didn't know him, you could almost be like, he seems like a decent guy. And then you're like, oh shit, no, that's the actual fucking devil. Whoops.
Well, I mean, I think season 5's Lucifer is the most ominous and scary version of Lucifer that we get.
Yeah, he gets sissified like most characters as it goes on, doesn't it?
I feel like he's you're really scared of him. And I mean, I guess it's just not knowing the character and not getting into all the reasons why, he was upset with dad and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you get it, but you don't get it as much as and again, I think that's probably just because of the show itself over the years, just the way that they don't know what to do with certain characters after a while and they kind of lean on comedy. But I was very into because I think the whole thing with Lucifer is like, he doesn't lie. Right. Like he wants to talk you into things and different things like that. And he uses whatever he can, to get you to say yes, but he won't lie to do it. And I thought it was interesting. Like we're just talking about the character too before, like the character of Nick being talked into being used as the vessel by the wife and stuff like that. And Nick's portrayal is very different than once you get Lucifer in that vessel. So yeah, a little bit of a smart ass, I think, in the beginning, but still scary in a way that I think got lost, especially towards I think the last couple seasons when they would bring him back again and again. I just I was kind of like whole season 14 plot line of Nick, wanting Lucifer back and that kind of stuff. I was kind of like, do we really have to do this again? Do we really have to do this again?
I didn't get that. I was like, I know they had, you probably know the episode number, but that's the episode name. But there is an episode where they save someone from demonic possession, and then that person goes on to summon the demon again to be repossessed because they're like, no, I liked it so much better. He's in rehab in the halfway house, and
he's got the dog. Oh yeah. No, I purposely, it's Repo Man. I think it might be Repo Man. I think that might be the name of it. Yeah, when he wants to come back. I don't skip. I try not to skip any episodes, but it is I I think it's my least favorite because the poor dog.
Because
like I just don't like that they do that. But it's also just they're layering in like, different things to come out later. But it's just like
I don't think those two things were connected even a little bit. I don't think they were like, we set up for this like so many episodes ago.
No. But I just mean like I'm sure there was a parallel that was going on that I don't even remember in the episode, what they were paralleling, something going on with the boys, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah.
Because it was season 7 and they were all over the place with season 7. And it was like not soon after Bobby died, but yeah. So I guess like with anything, even like Crowley, I mean, you could say that with any character, right? Like when they first come in, they've just got a different vibe to them. And then as you get to know them, it changes a lot. So I do think he did a really good job in like the first few seasons, especially even when like he was in Sam's head. I think towards the end of
Lucifer.
season 7. Yeah. That was that. That's when that kind of like over the top was, I think, really necessary. And like he hammered that home really well.
I always liked, I liked the way that they kind of tried to flip, like the whole show tried to flip the like angels on their head. They're not these cute little fluffy feathery, they're dicks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were the same place. Don't touch the holes in my knees. that comes out like every so often. I can't help that. It's the tick of the month. So I liked the idea that they had flipped the angels on their head, and they were like, they're really pushy and they'll lie and they'll manipulate and da da da. But then they sort of. And I'll front with you. I'll front with readers. I've never read the Bible, guys. Bit wordy. Never got into it. Tried, couldn't make it. But I am aware that the actual biblical story of Lucifer's fall and who he is very different to the modern interpretation. And Lucifer fell for loving God too much and refusing to accept humanity. And then he's sort of become this, the face of all evil, but he wasn't cast out because he was evil, I'm aware that there's a dissonance there. So I like the fact that they turned the cultural image of angels on their head and were like, no, they're dicks, they'll try and they'll manipulate and they'll send you back in time and they'll do all this shit with your mom and dad and stuff like that. But then they'd, in a similar kind of flip, brought it a little bit more back to the biblical origins of Lucifer. And he's not this cartoonish, like, evil villain. He's like, he doesn't lie, and he's going to cause the apocalypse, and that is unfortunate. But he has his reasons, and he's not this big bad evil that everyone paints him out to be, which, I mean, obviously he is. He murders like a town. But still, I liked that. And I liked that they kept him, because so often you see interpretations of the devil as being like angry and fiery, and he was like calm and chill. Even the scene with the, most people think I run hot, but it's the opposite. And Dean's like, well, alert the media. Even little things like that kind of just turn it, the fiery pits of hell. It's like, not really. I was a fan of that. And I did like the way Nick, because he really did give off like everyman vibes, and like, he's just going to wait. It's fine. He'll get his way eventually. Sam's always going to say yes. It's always going to be in Detroit, whatever. But he doesn't live angry like the angels seem to in that season. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. It's a little interesting in that, like you said, he's willing to wait and lay the pieces down, or because he knows that things should eventually lead to this point. And he's got he's got the demons and everything that he's created but then he kind of just doesn't really care one way or the other, which actually kind of parallels God's whole thing, like what God created, but then it's like, I kind of don't think that much of it. And they're kind of only here to entertain or do my bidding, or he's mad at his dad, but he does a lot of the same things that his dad did, repeating the same mistakes and not being able to step back and see that, that he thinks what he wants is the most important thing in the situation too, and I found that interesting. And also like just the parallels in general that they do with Lucifer and Michael and then Sam and Dean, and kind of working that relationship a little bit. I don't really think we see Mark's Lucifer with like the original Michael until the very end, right?
I don't even think we see our Michael, do we?
We do at the very end, 19.
Oh no, because it's Adam, isn't it? Yeah.
But I mean, that's
because
Michael inhabiting Adam's vessel at that point. Yeah, it's all Michael at the very end. But then
it's Sam at the finale of 5, isn't it? So we don't see Nick interact with anybody
Lucifer,
till the end.
Yeah, like actually doing like that final thing. But I think I was really very impressed though, I think, with the way that once Supernatural committed to, okay, I guess we're doing angels now. They really did kind of like, they committed to all of that biblical stuff and having everything work and just, build on itself to be more and more until we're like getting the apocalypse and what that looks like in the 4 horsemen and all that stuff. So I did appreciate that storyline. And then I felt like, they kind of just kept using Lucifer as this sort of other bad guy or big bad. They went to that a lot. I felt like he was always kind of go-to a bit. So, and I don't know if that has to do too, like with the way he was eventually portrayed. I think a lot of that has to do with the writers too, that are like in charge of, I believe it's the writing duo Buck Lemming, I think, that end up writing a lot of episodes that tend to bring Lucifer in towards the, like maybe by season 7 or 8. Maybe they did some in season 5 too. I don't remember, but I'm never a big fan of those episodes when there's a few that are pretty decent, but I just think they just turned him into very much a cartoony bad guy towards the end, which it's still, I mean, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it lands. I thought having Lucifer have to deal with being human for a little while was interesting, but it wasn't like I didn't need it to be a really long situation either, so I think that was season 13 when they did that. Yeah.
I have a lot of the issues that I have they center around Lucifer, but they're not like, it's not his fault. So like the whole Nick wanting Lucifer back, I thought was weird. I couldn't, because it came out of left field and I was confused. Obviously the fake Cass phone call at the end, that was, I'm not a Destiel shipper, I never will be, but that was like a big fuck wrong. You to the fandom. That was like, oh yeah, no, we buried our gay and then we're gonna fucking like, we're gonna dig him up and parade him around in front of you for 5 minutes before we toss him aside. That was necessary, to be honest. It really was, like, just all the way. And my feelings about Sam in the vamp cave in the AU and how all that was set up just so Lucifer could come and be like, oh look, no, I'm a hero. I saved your life. So, but none of them are like that. None of those plots are like, they're not Lucifer's fault. He's just shoehorned in for whatever reason. And I find that, I find that kind of weird. But I know Supernatural draws from, I was genuinely about to say biblical law then. Like that, it's the Bible, Karlee. That is not a thing. I know that it draws from that, but I was always a fan. They never did the whole Lucifer like king of hell thing. Like he couldn't give a fuck. Didn't care. His focus was, I mean, I don't even think his focus was getting back to heaven, really. He was kind of just like
he just wanted to break everything, right? Like I feel like that was
chaos. Yeah,
that was all he kind of wanted to do. I feel like Ted and I were just talking about this because we've started season 4, and it was at the end of like the second episode. We were like trying to figure out like who was king of hell, because it wasn't Crowley, right? It was one of the princes, right? Like it should have been one of the princes, but nobody was really like nobody had the throne. Right, like that's what it was Azazel. It should have been Azazel, but I don't even think Azazel was necessarily.
No, they
never actually said he was king of hell. The
kids,
yeah,
that was what Sam was meant to be, wasn't it? Or whoever won the battle royale was.
That's what I never got. So because I'm like, well, I know that like all the different princes, because I know they bring that up again, like in season. I think it's season 12 where Crowley goes in and sees one of the princes and. Dude's like, I don't want the position, you take it. And then that's how he becomes, that's how Crowley becomes king of hell, because none of the princes wanted it and he took it. And I was just like, well, yeah, it was very interesting to think that nobody technically was running hell in any way, shape, or form for a very long time. And like you said, Lucifer wasn't interested in that at all. Just wanted to like get topside and
just wanted to break what his dad had made. And I like that, even though Supernatural came out a long time before Lucifer, and it covers so many other things other than Lucifer. I feel like you can't help but draw parallels between Supernatural's Lucifer and obviously Lucifer's Lucifer. And I like Tom Ellis's Lucifer. They went a little bit more like reluctant king of hell.
Yeah.
And I was into that. But I've really liked the way Supernatural just went, he just wants to break stuff. He's pissed. And he wants he wants to break his dad's Lego, basically. This is his dad's little Lego City model train set, whatever. And he just wants to stamp on it. And he's not, like the angels were fighting the apocalypse because they had to fight the apocalypse. And Lucifer was just like, I don't even care. I was going to wreck shit.
Well, it's like, how much could he do to get his dad's attention? And it was like, not even that was like, was like worth it, was like really gonna make a difference.
He would have made a good Winchester.
Yeah.
Daddy issues Winchester. Yeah. We need therapy Winchesters. Yeah. I would have been.
I would always, right. I think it would have been fun though if they, and I know they wouldn't have done it because the shows weren't necessarily tied together, but I would have loved to have seen Tom Ellis's Lucifer interact with the boys at some point, like for some reason, like if he did like an AU or something. I would love to see them like have to go to Los Angeles and deal with Lucifer there. I just think that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I still have not finished Lucifer. I think I've just started the last season, but I'd like that happened months and months ago.
No,
so I haven't gotten
the last
back to
season's amazing.
Okay.
The last season's amazing. You have to.
Okay.
You have to finish the last season. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Lucifer has been played by various people. So we've taken a look at Mark Pellegrino's Lucifer. So we'll move on to other actors that have played Lucifer. So let's go chronologically. Let's go Samifer. I'll hold my hands up. I'm not a big fan of Samifer.
Is it the suit or is it just his portrayal of him? How he portrays him? Both? Okay.
Both.
Okay.
I can see, and I feel really guilty about this because I've watched con clips of Jared saying that it was difficult to get into the face and difficult to act, and I feel bad for being like, oh, you put all that effort, and I think it sucks. I feel bad about that, and I know that Jensen is good. Like, I thought I did a really good job in the scene where Samifer kills present day Dean and then turns to like past Dean and is like, you're you, but not you from here. And Dean, like, Jensen's like, I thought I kicked ass in that scene, and then I saw it and I had to call Jared and be like, you blew me out of the fucking water. So I feel awful. But an enormous part of it is the suit. I get what they were going for. I do. I get it. I can see the symbolism. You'd have to be blind in this eye and looking over there not to fucking see it. They thrust it into your eyeballs. I get it. I do. I get it. Ah, fucking hate it though. Oh my God, nobody needs to wear a white suit ever. Even like my husband loves James Bond. So I've seen, apart from the most recent one, I've seen all of the Daniel Craig Bonds up to Skyfall, maybe okay. Spectre, whatever, irrelevant. So I've seen Daniel Craig play James Bond in a white tux. And even watching that, I was like, nobody needs that. That's fucking hideous. Nobody needs a white suit. Nobody. So a big part of it is the suit, right? Big part of it is the suit. But also, I could see what Jared was going for and the kind of trying to mimic Mark's portrayal, you know, with like the sort of calm demeanor and the sarcasm and, you know, stuff like that. But just in that particular, it's just that one particular scene, because I think the rest of the time, Jared did a really good job of being Sam possessed by Lucifer. But when I think Samifer, I think that scene.
Okay.
And it just, I don't know, he's trying too hard, I think. To, I don't know. I don't think it's Jared's trying too hard to mimic Mark's portrayal. I think Lucifer is trying too hard to get under Dean's skin. You know? He could have been like, sucks to suck. Look, I'm wearing this face, you know? And I feel like that would have been more in line with the Lucifer that we had established.
Yeah. Because it's very hoity-toity, above it all kind of portrayal, I think, in that scene. Yeah.
And I do think, as much as I'm like, oh, the fucking white suit, the symbolism is so, like, it's a fucking hammer over the head. He's playing with the roses. He's wearing a white suit. You know, he's all smug with his nose in the air. It's too heavy. The symbolism is too heavy. And I think the other times that you see Sam like arguing with Lucifer in season 5, and Lucifer's like, oh, but look at all these, in particular that scene where he's like, look at all these people from your life that were demons. Don't you want to get revenge? Yeah,
that's really good. I think that's
how it should be.
And I think because you get the comparison with Sam. I think in that scene, I think that makes a really big difference too. It's seeing Sam talking with Lucifer. You get the back and forth that I think really contrasts it really well. And I think you get to see the difference in the portrayals that way. I do think like Swan Song especially, because I think that's the only time you see him again as Lucifer in season 5, I think, right? I don't think there's any other time. It's just that one that part in the end, and then at Swan Song. But I was really impressed with him and in Swan Song with that. I thought that's when he kind of like did the best with that. Yeah.
I remember being a really big fan of the actual moment when he says yes, and he's like, I'm going to say yes, and then we're going to open the portal and I'm going to throw him in. And like Lucifer's like pretending to still be Sam, and then it just twists, and it's so good. I think those moments were so much better and so much more authentic of Sam possessed by Lucifer than the Samifer scene with the suit, which is a shame because Jared did such an amazing job. You know, and I genuinely feel awful because I'm like, I know Jared struggled, and I know Jensen was like, holy fuck. And then I'm over here like, you know, just one little listener going, well, I didn't like it, you know? But it was too heavy, I think. Whereas those other moments, and especially in the cemetery, you know, when he's like arguing with Dean and Cass and Bobby and, you know, did you just Molotov my brother? And I think that's really good. And then again, the pieces realign and we've got Sam again.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was good. And then, of course, my favorite personally, Cassifer. I mean, that was great.
He was so over the top. It was just so
you could see
so good.
I think you could see Jared was playing, apart from the suit scene, Jared was playing Sam possessed by Lucifer, like being possessed by any other devil, is just using his meat suit. Misha was imitating Nick and not Nick, Mark, and doing a fucking stand-up job of it as well. The scene in heaven, if it helps, you call me God. And then when he kind of outs himself to Sam and he's laughing and oh, it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, and even that I think towards the end. Yeah, towards the end with
I hate praising Misha. I hate it. Fuck you, Misha.
No, towards the end when like they're trying to capture Lucifer and get him out of Cass, he does a little bit of back and forth there too. And again, I think that's a real testament when an actor can flip it so quickly, and kind of like in a scene do that. And whether that's editing or whatever, it's still, you've got those moments where you've got to see that shift in the character. And he does that really well in that one episode, which I don't remember the name of, but yeah.
I know which one you mean though. I think that's something that Jared does so well. And it's such a shame to me that they, Dean got to play all these, all these different things, and he was a demon and he was an angel and he was this and he was that, and he was hallucinating. But I don't know, I feel like Sam should have got more, because when you give him that room to be possessed or to be, arguing with himself as Lucifer, I just think he did a good job.
Well, just as an aside, I think Jared as Gadriel going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Like that. I was really impressed with that switch over. So yeah, he's got, they're all,
I got range.
They're all very talented, but yeah, I was especially impressed by that, because that was hard to do in a scene. Like that was a lot of like switching back and forth. That was impressive. But there were a couple other people, right, that kind of like just for a little brief time got to.
There was. So he was, obviously we had Jessica Moore's character played Lucifer a little bit. Rick Springfield, who played Vince. Vincenti.
Yeah, Vincenti.
Yeah, I thought that was good again, because it was
so
you
campy.
You could see the influence of Mark's performance though, and I think for everybody to have to, well, I mean, not everybody had to imitate Mark's performance, because there were some people that were just like, they were only Lucifer for a little bit, but to imitate that, because he made like a really good air around Lucifer. He was like, he didn't need to behave like a demon and tantrum and throw his power around.
Right.
He just was powerful, And I think they all did a really good job. But the idea of the devil in a rock star is great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And then didn't we get the boys jackets as a part of that in one of those episodes where they're pretending to be rock stars also to get into the gig, I think.
Oh yeah. They were in jackets, and Dean wore sunglasses inside.
Sunglasses inside. Defects. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously those are the three main ones, aren't they? You think Mark Pellegrino, you think Jared, and you think Cass, Misha. I couldn't words. No, it was a really good portrayal of a really thoroughly unpleasant character. But I could never bring myself to hate him, which is weird, because I'm like, I fucking hate Mary Winchester. Fuck that bitch. And she didn't really do anything. Like, she didn't murder a town and, raise the 4 horsemen and you fucking carry on like that. But I don't know. That's what I mean. There was just something like a little bit likable about him. Like at first glance, you'd be like, yeah, all right. And then after that, you'd be like, oh, bloody hell.
Well, it's kind of surprising too to hear you say that, considering what he had Sam endured like in the cage with him and all that stuff. Yeah.
I challenged that by saying, did we or did we not get a very good period of time where we had sweaty, tired, stressed, in pain Sam? And what are all the things that I love to see Sam as? Okay. Sweaty, stressed, tired.
So he was the cause of
Genuinely.
that. So you're kind of like, okay, I'll give you a pass.
I don't know, because I don't want that. I don't want that for Sam.
I know.
But I don't know. There's just that part of it was season 7, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 7? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam's in the hospital,
mm-hmm.
and he's so tired and
Mm-hmm.
so. I love that so much. I'm a bad Sam fan, but I love it. He's in one layer.
Mm-hmm.
He's only got a shirt and a pair of like scrubs on. And I just want to wrap him up in every blanket that's ever been made and just make a gigantic Sam burrito and just put him on the sofa and pet him and feed him kale. That's what I want. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's just, this may be me drawing parallels between myself and my mental health issues and Sam and his fucking issues. But even before that, when he's kind of like freaking out about stuff that isn't there. Mm-hmm. And I think Jared did such an amazing job acting. But as someone who does experience similar kind of hallucinations and does have to like sometimes check in and is that a noise or is that in my head? I kind of identify with that a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, it's Sam and he's stressed and he's sad and I like it.
Aww.
It's just terrible Sam.
It's not. I mean, like you said,
I like him when he's at his worst.
No, but like you said, you relate, right? To a certain extent. So that's if you can relate to it, then it's not that you're a terrible human about that, because you're just, you relate and you want to make him feel better. So you can't make him feel better if he's feeling fine. You know what I mean?
And I also, again, possibly a parallel, but the idea of pain being grounding is something I really relate to. But also the whole thing with Dean and this is real. I stitched this up. This is real. This is stone one that we're going to build from.
Yeah.
I really liked, because I mean, we've seen them in messes before.
Right.
But that was one of the times where, it couldn't just be slept off. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was enduring over episodes, and I was I was really into that. Mm-hmm. And then and also we wouldn't have one of the greatest bloopers of all time if that little storyline hadn't played out of Cass, breaking the wall in Sam's head and making her mental, and then we would not have Jensen trying to act to a Jared that is pulling the dumbest faces and just be like, everyone's laughing. If you could see his face, and the whole no, we'll put the shit, it'll be fine. Oh no, you're all laughing. I love that. I don't know what it is about that blooper. I think it's the point where Jensen just gives in and goes, and now I'm crying. What the fuck? Huge fan. I'm a fan of so many supernatural plot lines based purely on the bloopers that they create.
We're doing an episode on that soon.
I hate the episode Lebanon so much. Mm-hmm. I hate it. But the blooper, I can't. You can't? If you can see his face, I fucking cannot. I cannot.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But no, I don't. I find it difficult to hate Lucifer again because his agenda was never to do bad things for bad reasons. It was just to break stuff. And I kind of feel like a lot of people can identify with having, a traumatic experience and just wanting to set the world on fire.
Yeah.
I get. I'm concerned by how many parallels I'm drawing between myself and the devil. This is becoming worrying. I definitely said it in an earlier episode. I should probably find a therapist. I'm getting worried.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
I think that was the whole point of the whole point of the show, I think, was to make you relate to Lucifer. I mean, by making the parallels with Sam and Dean and Lucifer and Michael, I don't think you can help but I don't think you really hate either of them, right? Like, I don't really think Michael was ever like truly hated. Not there was necessarily much redeeming with them, but you kind of get why they do what they do. It's got to be relatable, or then there's just a villain just like twirling his mustache or whatever, and there's nothing.
Yeah, and
there's nothing there behind it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is not sort of directly, although there were plenty of interactions between and Lucifer, but whatever you might think about the Jack storyline and whether it was necessary so close to the end and stuff, I very much like the existential crises that just Lucifer existing gave Jack. Is he destined to be evil just because of who his father was? And that whole, it kind of brings the series back full circle, not completely full circle, but it's something Sam and Dean have wrestled with.
Right.
Are we the
Nature
bad
versus
guys?
Nurture. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we kill. No, we're not, because they're monsters. But then you have like Amy that Sam couldn't kill, and stuff like that. And it that whole, as you say, nature versus nurture, and who am I, and am I more than my destiny or whatever? And I'm a fan of that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I agree. With
and of course, if we didn't have Lucifer, we wouldn't have Jack, and then Mary wouldn't be dead. So,
always find the silver lining there.
It's always a silver. I just fucking hate her so much. I hate her so much. It's such a shame because Sam Smith is delightful and Mark Pellegrino is not getting any more airtime. And that is, I will say, I was fully prepared to make this a Nick Lucifer / here are all the reasons Mark Pellegrino is we got to like last night pre-recording. It's the 2nd of June. And I was like, maybe we should just keep it about Lucifer. Because if you let me, I'm going to go off completely about the actor and it's going to be a thing. So if you want to hear all the reasons that I personally think Mark Pellegrino is a douche canoe, let us know. I got fucking loads, y'all. Properly loads. I'll rant for a good hour about this. But bringing it back to Lucifer. Yeah. No, I think he's, it's a good character done well. Because I think some of the characters, especially like Dick Roman was a lazy villain. That was lazy. Oh no, you like the Leviathans, don't you? That's why you're silent.
No. I liked the campiness of Dick Roman. I thought the actor did a really good job of just like chewing up scenery when he was in there, but they didn't do what they needed to do with the plot.
But he wasn't.
But he was. You didn't. I don't think you like. I don't know how many bad guys you really like got scared of. Like you knew that it would be a thing if they couldn't take care of the overall situation, but like Dick Roman in and of himself was just a good campy.
It was silly.
Yeah. I liked
it.
That
was
part
silly.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't spanned over like 2 seasons, I probably would be slightly more sympathetic to the Leviathans, but it was like the Mark of Cain story. It went on for so long that I'm bored with it now.
Oh, because it went into...
Because it started in 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then it crossed over into 8, didn't it? No, am I wrong?
Did it cross into 8?
Yeah, it did.
I feel like,
Bobby
it was?
Die
it was
in 7.
It was at the... Yes, he does.
Oh, shit, does he? I thought that was 8.
So it was at the end of 6 where Cass...
At the end of 6 where Cass opens Purgatory.
Leviathans in him. And then I think by the end of 7 is when they blow up Dick Roman and they end up in Purgatory. And then I don't think you hear about... You see flashbacks of some Leviathan stuff in Purgatory, but I don't think we really get anything else with them.
Oh yeah, no, it was all season 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I have forgotten my.
But it's a mess. Season 7 is such a mess anyway. There's just so much stuff in that it's easy to get confused by what happens when in there.
What the fuck happens in season 8 then? What is the plot line of season 8? Did season 8 happen? What happened?
So that was Amelia. So that was like the first half.
Yeah, no, I remember that bit.
So it was the first half of coming back from Purgatory, and then they do the trials. So the trials is what happens in the second half of season 8, and then it ends with the sacrifice where I'm trying to turn Crowley Human and
what
all
was
that
season
stuff.
9 then?
Gadriel?
Gadriel was the whole of season 9.
Well, it wasn't the whole, but it started it. And then it was Abaddon, starting with the mark of finding out the mark of Cain and all that. And then Metatron sneaking his way in and saying, this is what I want to do. You know, I end up taking things over.
The last, you know, after about season 6, I don't get, because season 6 is the first season where they change big bads in the middle of the season.
So I feel like
all the rest of the season are like, here is the thing, and here is the, like, the end, at the end of season 1, and they're all back together, and the car crashes, and then the start of season 2, John's dead, and we're moving forward, and then season 3, Dean's back from hell, and season 3, Dean sells his soul. Yeah, all hell breaks loose at the end of season 2. Yeah. Dean,
they try to do too many things. They like try to fix whatever happens at the end when it happens more. It becomes very formulaic, I think, once you get into maybe even season 7. I wouldn't say season 6, because season 6, I don't think they knew what they were doing for a really long time. But then I think they had this thing where let's take care of what's happened at the end of this season. Let's tie it up in the first 3 episodes. Then we'll start we'll give you a hint as to what's going to happen with this next big bad. But they had this bad habit. We're totally off tangent. We will end this soon. But they just had this bad habit of throwing too many things into certain seasons where you don't know what you're supposed to be dealing with, what you're supposed to be looking at. So maybe that's another episode where we talk about like
where did it
how
go
many
wrong?
Plots can we fit into one season, I think.
Yeah. But I think that's why, because they spunked their load too early with Soul of Sam in season 6, and they were like, "Well, it's fixed." By the middle of season 6, and then they were like, "Yeah, oh, like another fucking like 12 episodes, shit, right?"
And then they had Eve. Then Eve came in, and like that was, and like,
then
yeah.
But that was,
but then that wasn't it.
6.
But then there was actually Cass. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. Yeah, there's so much going on.
Yeah. And that's why it gets all muddied for me after season 6, because that's the first season where we have like, and then. And I'm like, no. I'm used to one myth arc, like one meta thing that goes across the whole season, and we have some monsters of the week, and we have some talky episodes and whatever. But it's one thing, and it starts at the beginning, and it's resolved in the finale. And then season 6 came along and went, well, we weren't expecting to get renewed. Fuck. Because that's what it was.
Yeah.
Tricky done. He had his plotline was done at the end of season 5, and then they went, no, 3 more seasons, or however long it got renewed for. And they were like, oh, piss. Fuck. Well, we need to bring Sam back, because we can't just have Jensen. We need to have Jen. Let's take his soul away, right? Okay, bring him back. Bit of soulless. We'll deal with that for a bit. But we probably shouldn't keep that going all season. I think people get bored. Never have gotten bored of Soul of Sam ever. Right. All right. We'll give him his soul back. Right. We'll fix that shit. Okay.
Like Demon Dean. Come on. Like people. What?
Yeah, but
what?
that was it. If they had stuck to that formula of probably in episode 1 resolved in the season finale, Demon Dean would never have happened, because that's just that they didn't resolve the Mark of Cain plot properly at the end of at the end of 9. So then they had a bit of overlap. But they don't want overlap, because that's not meant to be the big bad of this season. So he's a demon. He leaves. I gets really drunk with Crowley. Maybe fucks him. We're going to leave it ambiguous. And then Sam comes and, 8 hours later, it's done. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This episode about Lucifer turned into Karlee's problems with the supernatural plotlines. Yeah,
I started it too.
We'll do an episode. We'll do an episode on plot lines and things like that. But yeah, overall, gold star baddie for Lucifer. Like, huge fan. In a way that, like, I thought Dick Roman was like a weak villain, but I thought Amara was quite a strong villain, because there's like, Dick Roman was comically evil just to be evil, right? You know, Whereas I think Lucifer and Amara, there was method to the madness. Yeah. And yes, they weren't above raising a whole town to the ground and, you know, eating people's souls and whatever other bad shit Amara did. I can't remember. Whatever. It's one of those weird, funny seasons that's just one long fucking season after season 6. But there was a reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
also, I'm all in any person, bad guy or good guy, that wants to stick it to Chuck. Fully in for that. If she'd have committed to that, right, bitch would have got shit done. She'd have committed to that, it would have happened, right? But then they fucking pans it out at the end of it. No, we've made it up. Blah, 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 blah. That's how we got married.
How we got
fucking married. Lucifer owed it to me and every other Mary Winchester hater on the planet to be like, well, I better fucking spawn a kid to kill her. I was owed that.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, dear. So we should probably wrap this up. Let us know what you thought about Lucifer. Do you have a favorite Lucifer actor? Is it Mark, who did a really good job despite being a Ben cunt? Is Samifer your favorite? Can you just not get enough of Cassifer like most of us can? And I hate to praise Misha. Like, I hate it. It sticks in my teeth. He is also a douche canoe. But anyway, let us know. Where can they let us know, Sandra?
Oh my gosh. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com or reach out to us on Twitter at idlinginthelletterD If you'd like to make your voice a male, check the description for a link to send us a voice message. You can find links to our personal socials and our AO3 accounts in the description. And there's also a link to my author website and my original fiction.
And in that original fiction, there is Cowboy Cancer, which we just did an episode on. You should go and listen to that episode and then go read Cowboy Cancer. I mean, maybe read it first, but do the 2 things in whichever order you feel like you ought to do the 2 things. I am not a master of segues anymore. We also have a new website. It is idlingintheimpala.com. Eventually, we're going to have to stop calling it new. We just have a website.
Yeah.
idlingintheimpala.com. That is where you will find all the merch for our podcast and Sam and Dean. And we got shirts and mugs and stickers and sweaters. And don't stand on the fucking keyboard. We don't have that, unfortunately. We could probably put it on a shirt, though. If you have cats that stand on keyboards and you're like, why are there no shirts out there for this one specific niche? We could probably put that on a t-shirt as well. But that is where you will find all our merch. If you find it anywhere else, let us know, because it's not supposed to be there. There's YouTube stuff, Spotify stuff, behind the scenes about us stuff, and videos that we unfortunately cannot release on YouTube or Spotify for copyright reasons. It's all there on the website. Go check it out. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, leave us a comment wherever you access your podcasts. Especially if you are watching and or listening on YouTube, likes and comments really help us with the YouTube algorithm. All hail its benevolence. In the description, current causes that we are championing. A couple of them are in the media right now. Obviously, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, which is unlawful, is coming back around into the media at time of recording. It is Pride Month as well. And the US is ramping up for election season. So we have information and charities and all that good stuff in the description. Go check it out. And with that, we will say thank you for joining us in the backseat, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.